Support WrestleTalk!
Oh, WrestleMania! Yeah, this is our life! Pump it up, pump it up! Oh, WrestleMania! Fighting to survive! Nope. Shh. It's enough. Calm. It's WrestleMania 35! The WrestleMania fever certainly is making some of us a little too excited, isn't it, Randy? Stay in your cupboard. Good boy. Last week, we took a look at the rumors, surprises, and general things you needed to know about WrestleMania 35. And since then, we've had another week of Raw and SmackDown. John Oliver went on a tirade against WWE. More matches have been announced for the show, and even more things have changed on top of that. With that in mind, I'm Chopper Pete Quinnell, but without the mask. I've gone up a size in my t-shirt collection, and this is every last-minute WrestleMania 35 rumor you need to know. Triple H will win. As much as Triple H gets flack over burying talent, he sure knows when to put someone over on the big stage. Unless your name is Booker T. Or Sting. Combining the fact that the game holds the record for the most losses at WrestleMania and the fact that Batista has recently returned to WWE, one would be forgiven for thinking that the Animal would be the one walking away victorious. According to betting sites, not so, as Triple H is the favorite of the pair to have their arm raised. The two will do battle in a no-holds-barred match, and if the Cerebral Assassin loses, he must retire from in-ring competition. So if he wins, we can look forward to more from Big Match Paul. Just please leave The Undertaker alone, and Shawn Michaels, just leave them both alone, please. Thanks. John Cena's WrestleMania opponent. As of the time of recording, which is a Wednesday, Big Match John doesn't have a big match on the big show, which means he's just John, I guess. That could all change before Sunday, but it's been confirmed by multiple sources, including Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, that Cena will be wrestling at the show. The question now is who will step up to face him? Cena was originally penciled in to face Lars Sullivan at WrestleMania, but due to Sullivan suffering an anxiety attack, his scheduled Raw debut was canned and he hasn't been seen since. It's been confirmed, however, that Sullivan is in a much better place now regarding his mental state, and his main roster debut could happen shortly, which very well may indicate a surprise appearance at WrestleMania or the Raw or SmackDown after it. Maybe Cena issues a classic open challenge and Sullivan is the one to answer? Some fans, well, all fans, were hoping that maybe Cena would be replacing Baron Corbin in the match against Kurt Angle. But according to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, that's not the plan thus far. On top of that, Cena's actual opponent is being kept secret, like super duper secret. When talking about those backstage in the know about Cena's opponent, Meltzer said, "The people that know everything don't know. That's how secret this is." So who could warrant such a tightly guarded secret? Maybe it could be The Undertaker in a rematch of their undisputable 5-star classic from WrestleMania 34. Maybe it could be Mojo Rawley. Or just maybe it could be Michael Elgin will appear. It was recently revealed that Michael Elgin had left New Japan Pro Wrestling on March 31st. The split was reportedly amicable, and it was simply a case of Elgin's contract expiring and one or both parties not wishing to renew it. Considering the contract expired and there were no premature releases or firings at play here, that leaves Big Mike open to any and all bookings immediately, and wouldn't you know it, WWE's biggest show of the year takes place right about now. While Elgin may not have been New Japan's biggest star, there's no doubt the man can wrestle. He can perform unreal feats of athleticism and strength, and he's exactly the kind of guy Vince McMahon would love to have on board due to his rippling deltoids. If WWE do sign him, it would not surprise me if he skips NXT entirely, partially because I think Vince might just think he's re-signed Ryback instead. Elgin could be the man to wrestle Cena on the show, or failing that, they may just revert to Lars Sullivan will debut. As previously mentioned, Lars Sullivan was due to debut on Raw a long time ago, but due to his anxiety attack in January, was unable to. Considering he seems to be in a much better place mentally, a WrestleMania appearance is not out of the realms of possibility. He could be the one to wrestle against John Cena, though according to Dave Meltzer, that is not the plan they will be pursuing. Having said that, it's not impossible that Cena will wrestle someone else, only for Sullivan to appear and attack Cena afterwards. Failing that, Sullivan could be the one to interrupt Elias's musical performance, because impromptu face and heel turns are always the way forward. Fuel was added to this particular fire when Lars himself tweeted Elias in a since deleted tweet that said, "The ol' Sulster knows exactly what to do with ya. All I'm saying is, you better play a good song at Mania. Or hell, he can make his debut in the Andre Battle Royal and eliminate Braun Strowman. That'd be something, I guess. Roman Reigns will win. This one should come as a surprise to precisely no one, but Roman Reigns is the favorite to win his match against Drew McIntyre. As much as McIntyre is being penciled in to be a top star moving forwards, Reigns has just come back from a fight with leukemia, so, you know, I think that trumps it. Just a little bit. Reigns' own feel-good moment would be even better if it's shared with his Shield brothers for one last time. Speaking of which, Dean Ambrose will appear. In an unprecedented move earlier this year, WWE announced that Dean Ambrose will be leaving the company shortly after WrestleMania. Since then, Ambrose's future has been a bit of a question mark, with some fans questioning whether this whole thing is a work, or a shoot, or a work shoot, or whether it's worked itself into a shoot. Brother. After Raw went off the air this week, the Lunatic Fringe made an appearance attacking Baron Corbin. Good lad. After promptly dropping him with the dirty deeds, Ambrose bowed to the crowd before climbing the ropes and posing, but most importantly, he stole Ronda Rousey's finisher because he pointed at the WrestleMania sign. It's not certain whether this was Ambrose's farewell to the audience, with the bow seemingly being some sort of goodbye, or whether this was a tease for a WrestleMania appearance. It would be nice to see him one last time on the big stage with his Shield brothers in arms, Rollins holding the Universal title aloft. Wait, what? Brock Lesnar will retain. I know. Last week we said Seth Rollins was the favorite to win and Brock would be dropping the title and leaving. But interestingly enough, betting sites seem to be backing down from the idea that the man, not that one, will be leaving with the Universal Championship. According to the bookies, as of the time of recording, Lesnar and Rollins are on a level pegging, so either of them could realistically get the victory over the other. It seems like the story has been building for Rollins to be the victor over Lesnar, but we did say that last year with Reigns. Look how that one turned out. And now that Roman's back from his fight with leukemia, is it really so far-fetched to think that Lesnar will retain so that Reigns can beat him down the line instead of Rollins for the ultimate feel-good moment? While Rollins might be missing out on the big victory, someone else might be getting an overdue one. Curt Hawkins will end his losing streak. Curt Hawkins has an impressive losing streak of
269!
Thanks, Randy, but get back in your cupboard. 269 matches he's lost now. After a reunion with Zack Ryder in January of this year, it seemed his fortunes may be starting to shift. But after a loss the following week to the Revival, the pair haven't been seen since. Until now! In a backstage exclusives from this week's episode of Raw, where all the greatest WrestleMania builds happen, Hawkins and Ryder were seen requesting a WrestleMania match against the Revival for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Considering this story has absolutely zero build going into it, it'll be the one they go for. Having said that, it would still be pretty cool to have Hawkins break his losing streak at WrestleMania. I mean, the pop he got for a single elimination at the Royal Rumble was large enough to make me think that an actual victory might make for a great moment. John Oliver will appear. I mean, he won't, but it would be great, wouldn't it? I hope he's just sitting in the crowd, holding a Union flag. You know, like a Union flag.
Boo!
What did I say about staying in your cupboard? WrestleMania 35 will still be the longest thing ever. Last week we suggested that WrestleMania 35 could be running for 8 hours with 13 confirmed matches. Well, since then, we've also added on the Women's Uterus Cup Battle Royal, the Fatal 4-Way SmackDown Tag Team Championship match, with teasers for a Raw Tag Team Championship match as well. So we're up to 15 confirmed matches, with the Raw Tag match taking it to 16 if it does happen. Sticking on top of that, musical performances, Alexa Bliss hosting Malarkey, a John Cena match, Hall of Fame inductees waving to the crowd, and a partridge in a pear tree, and this will be a very, very long show. But how could something so long have a solid, meaningful ending? Well, the 4 horsewomen of WWE stand tall to end the show. WrestleMania 35 is set to be a momentous one, when women main event the show for the first time ever. Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte Flair are set to do battle over the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships in a long and admittedly overbuilt grudge match. One of the more common theories that's been floated around ever since Charlotte won the SmackDown Women's Championship is that WrestleMania 35 could end with the four horsewomen of WWE, Bayley, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair, sharing a moment in the ring, with the four of them raising their championships. Bayley and Sasha with the Women's Tag Team Championships, Becky with her newly won Raw Women's Championship, and Charlotte with her SmackDown Women's Championship. However, this theory received a little bit of a puncture wound with the announcement on this week's Raw that the main event will be the trio competing for both Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships, meaning that if they were to do that four horsewomen moment, Becky would have to hand over a title for Charlotte to hold, or maybe Charlotte just doesn't get a title to hold and Becky gets two. I don't know, that'd be nice, I guess. But even if they did do this supposed four horsewomen moment, it could then lead to the four horsewomen of MMA will debut. Ever since Ronda Rousey, Marina Shafir, Jessamyn Duke, and Shayna Baszler joined WWE, rumors began bubbling of a four horsewomen versus four horsewomen match. That being the four horsewomen of MMA versus the aforementioned four horsewomen of WWE. They even started teasing the match at the Mae Young Classic, and then added fuel to the fire with Duke and Shafir aiding Baszler to victory at Evolution last year. Since then, Duke and Shafir have joined a stable of sorts alongside Baszler in NXT. Baszler is set to defend her NXT Women's Championship in a fatal four-way against Bianca Belair, Kairi Sane, and Io Shirai at NXT TakeOver New York, just 2 nights before WrestleMania. A fatal four-way is a great way to protect Baszler with a loss, which frees her up for a potential move to the main roster. If her lackeys join her, they could all come and join forces with Ronda Rousey after the main event of WrestleMania 35 to set up that horsewomen versus horsewomen match down the line. Or they could interfere during the match and help Ronda win. No, don't do that. No, I need my Becky to win, please. We don't have long to wait until we see if any of these rumors come true, as WrestleMania 35 is tomorrow. Check out the predictions of the lads for Wrestle League for the big show in the video to my right. And you can check out Laurie, SoCalVal, Ollie, Luke, and I over at Screenstalker, where we cover all things gaming and movie related. A special thank you to our patrons over on Patreon. You can see their names scrolling into me right now. Super click the like button, subscribe, enable notifications, help us reach 1 million subscribers, and we'll see you after WrestleMania. That was wrestling.